By now, I'm pretty sure you've experienced millions in your lifetime. Like the early morning wake. By now, I'm pretty sure you have experienced millions in your lifetime. However, the price of having those millions and experiencing those millions may no longer be appealing to you. The early mornings, the late nights, the missed events and family gatherings, the weekends of recovery just to start over and do it again. Well, you know what, rich friend? I've been her as well. And this time I'm on my journey of to millions with ease. And I want to bring you along with me. And in particular, what I want to share with you is the shifts that I'm making. And I want to invite you to those same things because I have come to learn that I haven't experienced those millions before, but they had me. This time I'm going to have the millions. Okay. If you're with me, put it in the chat road. Okay. Put in the chat road because you're on your road to millions with ease because life is supposed to be fun and it's supposed to give us the desires of our heart with grace and with ease. And I am very fortunate that I've had the experience of doing it the other way and now knowing there is another way and then also the ability to be able to share it with those that are interested in learning this way. Because I have come to learn and that your experience with life will only be to the extent of what you believe is possible for you, what you believe is possible for you to experience. So that is true also with your experience with money. We can only hold as much money as we believe is possible for us to hold. We can only experience it as much as we can believe it to be available to us. Because I know for myself, when I was experiencing that number, I was on my way to that number. You all know that. We've all been told this. There's a certain number. And once you get to that certain number, life becomes like, wow, amazing, right? However, no one really tells you the details of how to get there. You often hear, it's the mindset. You hear this and you hear that, but you don't hear the interworking in the details. So I'm going to invite you and share with you how I'm doing it on my road to millions with ease and invite you to come along with me. One of the things I've come to learn is the belief systems. The belief system. I would always hit this certain number and could never get past that number. Over and over again, I would hit this certain number and I knew there was another number that I could possibly experience, but I just couldn't quite get to it and didn't have the details. So what I have come to learn, that number was controlling me. It was controlling my thoughts. It was controlling my energy. It was actually, I was obsessed with it so much that I would wake up in the middle of the night shocked because I didn't think I could hit that number that I was after. Well, through a series of events, I ended up losing my major source of income. And when that happened, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to hit the number now. Okay. But what I learned in actuality, that belief was not real. I believe that I had to have this particular source to get to that number. And what happened after that source left has been nothing short of a storybook miracle, okay? Because I've experienced more, and I would say more millions without that source of income. I've had a richer experience in life, and I want that for you, my rich friend, because you deserve that. That's your birthright at bare minimum, to live richer with ease, the freedom to be, the family to love, the finances to enjoy and share. That's your birthright at bare minimum. And so what I've come to learn in that is my thought process had to change. My belief of who I am and my ability to hold, a certain level of income and certain level of resources. Okay. So it all depends on your ability and your identity of who you are, because that's always shaping our experience, regardless of what is going on around us. It all comes back to looking at ourselves in the mirror. And what are we saying about ourselves? What do we believe about ourselves is possible? Because I believe that number out there was my identity. And when I hit that number, you know what? It was like, wait till I get my money right. I was just like that person that I did not, my whole identity was wrapped up into that number. And rich friend, that is not true of you. That number is just a number out there. You are the number. And so when I really got to the place where I understood that I am the cause for this experience called life, whatever is going on out there, it's because of who I am inside. And so then I had to shift those conversations within myself. And so in shifting those conversations, such as I am more than enough, I can experience this. What would it be like to live to experience Christmas in Canada? What would it be like to live oceanfront? What would it be like to be in Hawaii? What would it be like, to be able to travel, go and do whatever I want, whenever I want, with grace and with ease? Those questions then started to mold my identity. And I know you guys hear this identity. Identity is just a concept of what you believe is possible for yourself and who you are. And and it shows up, whether you acknowledge it or not, it shows up in your experience called life by the people that you're around and all those things there. The people that are saying good things about you, those people that are saying things and may not be true because they don't even know you. That is all a part of how you respond to that is your identity. And I want to invite you to be proactive. We are proactive over here. We're not reactive, because when I was proactive, when I was reactive, I was constantly responding to problems, putting out fires every morning. You know what that's like? To wake up knowing as soon as you wake up and you come back into consciousness, there's a problem for you to solve. Rich friend, that's not living. That's existing. Life is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be an experience where we're constantly creating and feeling the energy that flows through us to experience this thing called life, to experience all of it, to embody it to our greatest way of being, and to continue to develop it and evolve to the next level, to the next, and to the next, and to the next. And so with regards to that, I want to invite you on this journey, because the road to millions really is within you, but you get to choose how you want to do the millions. Because a lot of times we've been taught unknowingly that it has to be struggle. It has to be hard. It has to be difficult. And here's what I want to invite you to. It's only as hard as you believe it is. Yes, there will be some things that come up that will be different. Just remember, they're just different. And once we learn to calibrate and stay clear and sure of who we are and the identity that we can actually experience what we want, then those difficulties becomes just little stepping stones along the journey. I was recently driving and I had a friend with me, and she was sharing, some of her challenges right now in life. And at the same time I'm driving, we're processing, and I'm in the middle of a situation, and she was sharing with me hers. And as I was driving and I shared with her, I said, she was sharing with me all these things. And I said, we're on our way to a certain destination, right? We have no clue of what is on the road ahead of us, but we are 100% certain of where our destination is. I believe we have a 100% probability that we will reach that destination. And why? Because we are clear about where we want to go. And I want to invite you, rich friend, to that clarity of knowing where you want to go, what you want to experience. And now you get that clarity. I want to invite you next to get in the vehicle. Okay. Choose a vehicle that's going to help support you with getting there. Now, where we were going, we had bags and we had things and all the things with us. So it would not have been feasible for us to do this on our bikes to get to this destination. In fact, it was 104 degrees yesterday. So that definitely was not going to be an option. And then it started to pour down raining. that was not going to be an option. Choose your vehicle. Choose your vehicle that you want to use to get you to your next destination. And in choosing that, that means choosing a way of being, how you're going to conduct yourself, how you want to perceive yourself, the conversations you're having within, so that those conversations can reflect back unto you. And then, you will actually find yourself there. You'll find yourself there, even with all the things that happens on the road there. You will experience the person that you really want to be, do, and have when you're certain and you're clear about where you want to be, what you want to experience. And what you want to experience is not so much as outside of you, it's always inside of you, rich friend. It's always inside. And I want you to also look at this here. This is what was happening for myself when I was experiencing millions the other way. But now that I'm doing it with ease, this is it's like really, this is the crown jewel. All right. Because when I was experiencing the other way, and I don't know about you, you may feel the need that if you're not controlling everything, if you're not holding it in your hand, if you're not the one that everyone comes to, if you're not the person with the answer for everyone's situation, that you feel that you're not leading. Well, I want to invite you, rich friend, to a new way of being, a new way of experiencing life with ease. That's not your responsibility. Open up your hand and release the grip on all those things, because it will only be a small thing or a small experience your life will be. And it will be most often very difficult and very challenging on a regular. And that's not your birthright. That's not. If you're constantly squeezing. But as you open up your hand and allow more things to go and more things to come, that's how it's supposed to be, in and out. And you allow the people around you to rise up as the leaders that they are, especially as the leader of their own experience called life. Because a lot of times what I've experienced was when I was holding so tightly and trying to guide this person and that person and making sure that they don't make the mistakes that I made, what was ultimately happening was I was squeezing so tightly that I was squeezing the life out of myself, squeezing the life out of the relationship, squeezing so hard that people around me learned how to perform in my energy rather than being themselves. And that's not leadership. That's definitely not going to get you your millions. Definitely not with ease. It's not. We're over here. We want to earn, we want to experience our millions with ease. Experience the freedom to be, the family to love, the finances to enjoy and share, all of that with ease. And that is our birthright. So I want to invite you to release in order to experience, okay? Release that grip, open it up, release it to experience the quality of life that you really want to, because you deserve that. At bare minimum, that is your birthright, to live richer with ease, freedom to be, family to love, finances to enjoy, and to share. And I want to share with you about how leading, what leading from consciousness looks like versus leading from the other way. Leading from consciousness is more proactive. It's more of who you are. And I want to invite you to write down who you are, your standards. What is it that's important to you as a woman, as a mother, as a single parent, entrepreneur? What is it important to you? What does your morning look like? What does your afternoon look like? What is the first thoughts that you're entering into your mind? Are you reaching for your cell phone first thing in the morning? I hope not, rich friend. I hope not. Because when you do that, what I found is that's now giving the power to whomever on the other side of that phone, giving them the power to shape and mold your day. And that's not living richer with ease. That's not a part of the process. It's not giving you the power that you already have to control and shape your day. I'm learning so often in conversations with so many wonderful women, leading women, that they feel that someone outside of them is controlling their life experience. And if they're not responsive or reacting and behaving the way that someone else has dictated and would like them to, then they feel that their experience in this thing called life is not, it's just a grudge. It's just something you do. It's just a check mark. And I am totally convinced, especially after I experienced leaving my business and just that next morning, waking up when it was closed. Oh my gosh, that was the most, that day just felt like all the shackles dropped off, all the weight. I could actually just feel myself and feel life. I could feel alive. I could actually hear my thoughts. I could actually, just feel my toes. I just felt so alive and felt the air flowing through and the energy flowing through my body, as opposed to that time when it was always go, 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 go. I'm answering to someone. As soon as I wake up, I'm putting out fires. I'm going to sleep thinking about a problem. That's not living richer with ease. That's totally contrary to how we get there, rich friend. And I want to invite you on this journey to living richer with ease. Write down the woman that you know that you are, the things that are possible for you to experience, those desires that's in your heart that you haven't shared with anyone else. Write them down. Write down her, because I can say for myself, when I looked through magazines and things and I would see images of women living the life that I perceived, that I knew, that just resonated with me. It's just like, yeah, that's me. That's for me. That's for me. Taking all of that in, that allowed me to shape and build a life where I'm very fortunate right now. And I say fortunate because I got to realize it early and I get to still talk about it now, where I get up when I want to, where I go to sleep when I want to, where I experience the people that I want to experience, where I hadn't recognized all the freedoms and the abundances of life. I get to see them in real time and appreciate them in real time, rather than thinking from my bed as I'm laying down, like, oh, that would have been nice. Wonder what that would feel like. It's because I've come into, and I choose to constantly identify with the person, the woman that I know that I am. And I want to invite you to identify with her. You know that you're the woman that can be, do, and have what you want. You know this. However, you may not have given yourself that permission. You may be looking to the right, looking to the left, and looking for examples of her. Well, I want to invite you to get the mirror and do a little technique that I once done. And I've done it actually more often before I even knew what it was. Look in the mirror and look in your eyes, rich friend. Get clear and centered and touch base with her. Touch base with her. And she's going to share with you a lot of the things that you might just be looking outwardly and outsourcing outwardly, to allow her to come through. And as she's coming through, she's going to share with you some things that may actually delight you and surprise you, and some things that might frighten you because you've never experienced her and you've never experienced it. But I want to invite you to lean into it, rich friend. Hello. Lean into it. Lean into it, okay? I want you to lean into it. Lean into her. And as you're leaning into her, you're going to start to experience a calibration where your energy rises, and where you will have the opportunity to actually make different choices and decisions from her. That's where we want to make decisions from her. From that woman that is settled, the woman that is sure, the woman that is calm, the woman that is collected, the woman that is sure that she is lavishly cared for. She's divinely protected and lavishly cared for. Make decisions from her, because in that identity, that's when all the doors open up and all the things will start to be a part of your experience that were once just dreams, that were once someone else's life experience that you were looking at in a magazine. Because I know what it's like to have looked in magazines and to been on the shore watching, or even in boats actually, watching and riding past multi-million dollar mansions and things of that nature, to now knowing what it's like to be living in those places and watching the boats come by. Those things are all possible for us when the identity shifts. Because when that identity shifts, we can hold that. That's who we are. Many of you know who you are by name. That's the identity you've aligned with, you express. You may know even that identity by way of what you do, your role, your responsibilities. I want to invite you to aligning with an identity that you choose rather than one that is bestowed upon you. An identity you choose. Now, we know that identity will definitely get things going and get things started. I want you to also know that identity without structure is just identity out there, and it's a beautiful thing and it's a beautiful vision, but it needs a container, and it needs a container to get to the next level. That's what we're talking about in the Road to Millions with Ease on day 2. We're going to talk about putting some structure around it so that it can actually produce that tangible money, the tangible millions that you're talking about, that and you're like, oh, I want it. I'm going to share with you just how to do that. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the same time here on this platform. And I want you to do your homework tonight to write down the woman that you are. First and foremost, you're going to go through that mirror, do the mirror, land her, sit with her, and then go and write down what comes to you about her, what she wants to experience, who she is, and how she navigates and how she moves through this thing called life. Because once she's doing that, then guess what? Life gets easier. It gets better. She starts to truly live richer with ease, and she is you. Until tomorrow, it is a great day to be rich.